Marshall, where history is alive, tells Marshall's stories through its historical markers by local residents with connections to the people, places, and events described on the markers.
I'm Patty Parker with the Mary Marshall Chapter Daughters of the American Revolution, and we own the Governor's Mansion here in Marshall. James Wright Gordon came to town from upstate New York in 1835, and he was a part of Marshall's early history, where he was able to buy and sell a little bit of land, make a little bit of money. He was also an attorney by trade. In Michigan's early statehood, James Wright Gordon was elected both state representative and then state senator. In 1839, James Wright Gordon was so confident that Marshall was going to be the capital and he was going to be the governor that he had this house built high atop Capitol Hill. These are the grounds that the city set aside to be the Capitol grounds when we were so confident that we were going to be the capital. Many people in the Marshall area were working with the people in the newly formed state of Michigan to ensure that Marshall would be that capital. It only made sense. We were the center of the state going east and west. And James Wright Gordon felt this house, high atop Capitol Hill, would be the perfect home for a governor. James Wright Gordon was running for governor of Michigan. He was considered a bit of a shoo-in. Indeed, the Whig Party was even having their convention here in Marshall that year. But in the early voting of the party, he came in second, with Woodbridge coming in first. That put Gordon on the ticket as lieutenant governor. But that fall, they won. So James Wright Gordon from Marshall, Michigan became the lieutenant governor of Michigan. However, the very next year, the then Governor Woodbridge ran for or won the U.S. Senate seat. So in 1841, James Wright Gordon from Marshall, Michigan, the lieutenant governor, became Michigan's third governor. We think it was a pretty distinctive year for a governor because he was the first Michigan governor to pardon a convicted slave. While we have no proof that he was a true abolitionist, we know that he worked with many of them. We also know that both prior to being governor and after, here in Marshall, he represented many different slave cases. In the mid-1960s, the Governor's Mansion was deeded to the Mary Marshall Chapter DAR, and we've had it ever since. In the early years, it was a bit of a struggle because the house was not in the best condition, but community groups and organizations, as well as individuals, helped us out extensively to restore this beautiful home. We've taken it back to the early industrial era of Marshall's history, and now I think it stands as a good testament to restoration and preservation here in our community.